How are we doing, everybody? Russell Heritage here, golf professional based out of Four Ashes Golf Centre here in Solihull. Today we're talking about a move that I've documented on the channel a bit, which is a right lateral bend. We're going to go into a little bit more detail as to what it is, the benefits that's going to have to your game, and why you basically need to introduce it. See, for the video we're making the assumption we're in a decent position at the top of the backswing. What needs to happen, right? At the start of the downswing, you need to introduce an element of right lateral bend, basically meaning that the feeling would be that yes, you're going to be triggering a hip rotation, yes, you're going to be shifting pressure into that left-hand side for a right-handed golfer, but I want you to get the sense that as you start coming down, you are triggering that feeling of the right shoulder moving closer towards that right hip, okay? The problem is, if you don't create any right lateral bend, then the only way you're going to get to the back of the ball is with an early release, because otherwise you can't store this energy like this. And this is what I see a lot down the driving range. I see guys doing rehearsal swings where they're trying to hold onto the wrist angle like so. The problem is you're not moving. Even if you're triggering a rotation, you know, that right shoulder isn't dropping down, and the only way you're going to hit it is with a kind of extension and a bit of a flip release, and it's a real big problem, and I don't see enough of it down the range being demonstrated in those rehearsal swings. Now, that's the reason why you need to introduce it. You're trying to store energy at the start of that transition coming into that downswing. You have created a good position at the top of the backswing. You've got the wrists working well. You need to hold that sensation as long as you can so you can release the club later into the ball. That's how you're going to hit the ball better. That's how you're going to hit the ball straighter. And let's be honest, you guys are working on your golf swings, and it's like with the lessons that I do, you want to hit the ball better and further. Accuracy as well, of course, but you want to know what it's like to hit the ball properly. That's why you need to introduce this movement into your golf swing. So, points of reference. You're going to see a couple of videos coming up onto the screen now. I've highlighted a horizontal line along the right shoulder at the top of the backswing position, and I've equally, at the point of when the left arm's horizontal coming into the downswing, that's where I've paused them, and you're going to see that sense of dropping of that right shoulder in that first movement. Now, you'll see a common theme. One, by the time the left arm's horizontal, the pelvis is back to parallel to target, meaning that they've triggered a hip rotation coming into that downswing. Some guys create more of a lateral bend, so we can see the examples of somebody like DJ creates a huge amount of right lateral bend coming into that downswing, hence the reason why, one of the reasons why hip is so much more powerful than some of the other guys out there. But what we do see is that the guys that are coming onto the screen, there's always an element of right lateral bend as you're coming into that downswing. Now, the reason why it's important to reiterate again, one, it helps you store the energy at the top of the backswing. Two, it's going to give you the ability to get that right elbow working more in front, if not a lot closer towards that right hip, which then means you can continue that rotation as you're coming into that downswing and release the club a lot later. Now, as ever, as I always kind of try and highlight for you guys, if you're going to be working on this at home, if you're going to be working on this at the driving range, you need a real point of reference, okay? So if you're working on it at home, it's going to be easier for you to do. If you're going to use a mirror, I would suggest similar. Swing up to the top of the backswing, try and see in the reflection as to a point where your right shoulder is, and as soon as you start that downswing, just get the feeling that the right shoulder is working downward as you're triggering a hip rotation without releasing the club. We don't want to see you rehearsing something like this. I want you to hold on to those wrist angles as you start the downswing. If you're down the driving range, excellent, just video it, make sure you're videoing it. Then what you can do is you can swing up to the top, draw the line on top of the right shoulder. As soon as you come into that transition, you're looking for that sense of dropping. From face on, it might give you a strong visual as well. What you're looking to see from the face on angle is that as you come down, the right elbow should be located underneath the left forearm. So we want to get rid of that sort of early release where it would look this way. If you kind of introduce that right lateral bend on that right side, it's going to give you the ability to look more like this. Again, giving you the chance to release the club a lot later and keep rotating the body through. A lot of guys understand the rotation aspect of the golf swing, but you're not seeing it come into your actual golf swing because you'll be stalling. A stalling effect basically means that if I trigger a load of rotation but I'm releasing the club this way, you're going to have to stand up or compensate at some point in the swing so you can still hit the ball, therefore meaning you're going to end up with a kind of flip release, because that's going to be your objective, to make sure you hit the ball. If you can start sequencing that transition with more of that lateral bend, you've got a much better chance of starting to demonstrate something that's going to make a big significant improvement to your golf game. So, as ever, hopefully it helps. I always appreciate a thumbs up and a like. Drop me a comment if there's anything on this video that you kind of want me to kind of reiterate more, or if there's other parts of the game that you want me to discuss. Finally, I'm doing videos every other day now. You want to get the notifications, so press that subscribe button, and in the description below are the social media links. That's an opportunity for you guys to kind of just see some of the live lesson stuff that's going on, but also for you to be able to send videos in. Send them in onto those platforms. It gives me an opportunity to have a look. I'm more than happy to help. That's what this video is all about. So I'll see you soon.